You don't have to be a star, baby, to be on my show. Woo! Wow, y'all. Man, I tell you, Sunday evening, 7 p.m., special broadcast of Brown, 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 Simply Brown on Cleveland. And my name is Simply F. Brown. And of course, I want to welcome you inside the Little Hut podcast. Now, normally on Sundays, I'm chilling. I'm at home trying to get a brand new hairstyle, although people tell me you always look the same. Yeah, because it's my signature. Amen. But one day I'm going to break out an afro or afro puff and I'm going to surprise you. But listen, real talk. I told you guys that I have a special guest today. And his ass is in a hot seat anyway with me. So, before we get down to the get down, this dude got some explaining to do. Now, y'all know I really shouldn't even have him on the show because I kind of feel you know, like I had a date going to the prom and I was all dressed up in my gown. And it was hard for me to find a date with my fine self. So y'all know that's not true. But, I'm standing at the door, peeking out the door in my pretty dress, new hairstyle, and the guy never shows up. Didn't show, didn't call, didn't text, did not send an email, right? Y'all remember that video I did? I talked about, can you believe that somebody stood me up and I had made a commitment? I said he could never come back inside the Little Hut podcast. Remember that? Well, Kimberly Brown, sometimes I can change my mind. Grown folks, we can do that. So inside Little Hut, I'm going to turn my camera around and show you what joker I have hanging out with me. This dude here, State Rep Elliot Forhan. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Kimberly. And let me just say, first of all, it is a pleasure, honor, and a pleasure to be back here in the little hut with yourself. I cannot tell you how sorry I am about, a couple months ago. But I will say
What?
that you you never told me what time we were supposed to be taping.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
No,
There
but
was
the
a
but the truth the
no,
truth was I got it mixed. I got it mixed up in my calendar, and
no.
I
There was a text message. You and I agreed, and you didn't show
well,
up.
check the tape. Check the tape.
I don't have to check anything because the other thing is very simple now. Now you didn't call.
I know.
You didn't
I
say,
know.
I
'Cause I
apologize.
put in my I put
You
in
didn't
my
say you didn't put a card in my mailbox to say I'm sorry. No, you just ran. And I
well,
put you on the jackass list. Showing
I
up did, showing up did. He was remember y'all, he was the jackass of the week. And I
I
told
guilty.
everybody,
Guilty as
yeah,
charged.
um, don't just
I'm sorry, Kimberly.
confess. Don't just confess. You got to take your beating like a man right now.
I
So this dude here, remember I told you guys that he would never come back inside the Lil Hut podcast, right? Because what he did was totally wrong. So he got to get a beat down today. He gonna try to apologize now, right? That's why when he came through the door, I almost had my pit bull attack him. So he lucky I just
said when
saved
he
his
is a
life.
pit bull.
He's a damn pit bull, and you better not hit my door today. I
Little
tell you
white
that
little
much.
white fluffy.
Look, all right, listen, I'm tired of playing with you already. So you're here today
hmm
because you've been calling me, texting me like I owe you money. And I owe you a damn thing. You
I
owe me an apology and you owe me dinner.
well,
No, ain't no
where we
well
where
to
we
it.
where we going?
We're not going anywhere because I'm in a weight loss thing right now and I'm not trying to gain weight. I'm still trying to get rid of these little fat cheeks of mine.
There's
All
hey,
right.
but first off, you're beautiful just the way you are.
Oh,
Second, there's lots of spots that got uh vegan, vegetarian, low cal, whatever suits your needs.
he's such a bullshit.
will play with him today. But listen, my big sister Kimmy, if I was her, I wouldn't let your ass come back. So if I were you, I would just like be cool with her because if I start talking in her ear, she listens to me. Okay, and that pit bull may bite the backside of your derriere. So I'm gonna go ahead and mind my business and let Big Sis handle you. Cause you something else. I mean, you real special. I'm just don't get me started. I tried not to do that to you. I did.
Oh, okay. There we go. See, all confused. But listen, being serious, it's a pleasure to talk to you today. It really is. And I know that you have some issues that you are going through. And we're going to talk about that today. And I want to let people know that this is just part one because I have some receipts and I was not able to load them simply because you just brought them to me. No, no, no. I'm not even joking. I'm 100% serious because there are a lot of things that have gone on. And I just want to say this as a disclaimer. This is State Rep Elliot Forhan, and he's on the Brown Note Cleveland Inside the Little Hut podcast show today. And I'm going to talk to him about some things that has happened to him, my thoughts, his thoughts, our thoughts, thoughts of politics, lies, backstabbing, and deceitful behaviors. Point blank, period. So, State Rep Forham, I am going to give you the microphone. Everybody knows that you were not successful in the reelection. Mr. Sonnenberg won the reelection, but you say what? What happened?
With respect to
Everything that went on that particular election year, everything that went on,
right,
from you being accused of being disrespectful when it comes to black women and women in general.
right. So I'm, as you said, first of all, and I want to just say thank you again, Miss Brown,
Mhm.
for inviting me on the Little Hut podcast. My name is Elliot Forhan, as you said. I represent in the Ohio House Representatives, Ohio's 21st House District, including Hillcrest, Euclid,
Mhm.
Collinwood. First term of office, running for reelection, and my expectation is that I'm running for reelection on my record and my plans for the future. But that is not what happened in that election.
Okay.
That election was the result of, very unfortunately, a smear campaign based on lies, right? And I think that we did have a chance to discuss that
We did.
to some extent when I came back before. And I'm not here to say that to question that's the results of the results. I respect that. There's more to say about um, about what I'm doing right now in looking forward to be candid with you, because the things that I'm focused on now are at least to some extent it is to bring to light the truth that um that
Let
these
me let
that
me let
go
me let me
ahead,
say let me say this to you.
please.
You're here because there's a story to be told, number one. Number two, on a personal note, I don't like dirty politics. I don't. Kimberly F. Brown, Brown on Cleveland, I'm saying I don't like dirty politics. So I do want to go back and explore and explain to people what brought us here today. The first thing, let me ask you point blank, period. There were allegations made against you that you were disrespectful to a black woman when you were downstate. And you say what? What was that situation about?
Well, I will just say uh, out the outset, right? My reelection campaign just a few months ago, um, one person endorsed my campaign, and it is the person who you are just talking about
Mm-hmm.
right now, Ms. LaDosha Wright. I was so proud and honored that she endorsed my reelection campaign, and she did it because we worked together. You know, we introduced legislation that would, if it passes, and I'm still working on it to try to ensure that it does, it would create an institute that would promote education for natural hair,
I get
right?
that. I get that, state rep. But
Hmm.
that's not where I'm going. Had you not been accused of disrespecting a black woman, then that black woman went to former Senator Shirley Smith. This is where this is started. It went to Channel 3, Channel 5, Channel 8, the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Everybody was talking about this state rep that I had never heard of, Elliot Forhan. That's where this started. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Well, I just want to point something out to you,
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Brown. In the room when Ms. LaDosha Wright, and actually it was the person who I don't know if you even know this, if we talked about this before, who introduced me to Ms. LaDosha Wright, state representative and executive vice chair of the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party, Juanita Brent.
Juanita Brent.
She introduced us.
Okay.
Okay. She was the person in the room. She was the person who was holding the hand of Ms. Wright. She was the person who communicated to the leadership of our caucus, the, the events as she interpreted them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she is the person who is now, as I'm here to discuss with you today, under investigation
Mm-hmm.
by the Cleveland Division of Police
Mm-hmm.
for commission perjury. And what is perjury? It's lying, right?
Perjury is lying.
That's
So,
what that
so,
is.
so let me put this out here right quick. During our part 2 segment, because I didn't have the opportunity to do it today, as these individuals are being mentioned, part 2, you will see their pictures appear, plus recordings that Mr. Forhan gave me today. But I want to go back because you said that State Rep Juanita Brent introduced you to LaDosha Wright.
Hmm.
So when all this was taking place, what actually happened that caused all this ruckus to occur? I mean, what was it? There had to be something.
Well, I mean, I think that in that moment, okay, and to be clear,
Clear.
I respect at to a very high level Ms. Wright. I consider her to be a friend now. Now, I
Now.
did not know her at the time. We had met each other that moment, right?
Mhm.
And she was there for a purpose, right? She was there because she was want to talk about this item of legislation, and we saw differently with respect to that piece of legislation. And we had a conversation. It was a
Mhm.
conversation between two people, between two adults. Okay. And we, we both feel and it's not about um it was about like license it's about licensing. That's what it
Okay.
was about, right? And so we had this conversation. We disagreed. We were sharing our different perspectives. And I mean, in that moment, I mean, I was talking to her. I was speaking sincerely. I was trying to communicate to her, what's my position, and I was listening to her because she was saying
But
things
state
to me.
rep, but here's the
Hmm.
thing. I appreciate what you're saying. But something happened that caused the media to get involved so aggressively because you were all over the news, sir. Not just one time, not twice, not three, four. It was ongoing, especially during the entire campaign. It appeared to be purposely instituted and instructed.
Right,
Appeared to be.
right.
I don't know if that's true. It appeared to be.
Well, so can we?
No,
Okay.
because you stated that you and her were having a discussion.
Hmm.
A discussion does not warrant someone to go to the media and to cry to a former state representative talking about, excuse the expression, this white man disrespected a black woman downstate.
Right.
A lot of black women were outraged with you, just so you know.
I'm aware of that.
Okay. So there were, to me, it was a lot of damage. That's
Yep.
why I didn't mind you coming inside the little hut to talk,
Mhm.
because I told many people, many elected officials, many activists, I don't see that character in him
Mm.
that people are talking about.
Mhm.
And if you think I'm telling an untruth, call Angel Washington right now.
I believe you. I do.
Call some local female black mayors right now.
Right.
So I need to know, the audience want to know what happened during that meeting that would cause a black woman to go to the media to say that this white man was verbally abusive and verbally aggressive towards her.
Right. Now,
The Little Hut podcast.
I got just a couple points, right?
Okay.
The first point, I mean, the honest to God, truth, right, is I don't know, right? But there's another point here, because you said something about, well, you were, to me just a moment ago, right? You're in the news all throughout the campaign, but that was about not just because the meeting, or the conversation between Ladosha and me,
Mhm.
between Ms. Wright and me, that was in May of last year, right? Way more than a year ago.
Okay.
But it was way, way, way more. I mean, then there were, two articles, or there was one article and one op-ed in Plain Dealer in connection with that, right? But then fast forward, right?
Mhm.
November. So May to November, that's what, 6 months. Okay. So 6 months later, then there are, I don't know, 50 articles, right? So it's 2 in May
Yeah.
and there are 50. So that's a big difference, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happened in November?
What
What
happened?
happened, right? And the answer here is simple, okay? So one person, well, it's really 2 people.
Okay.
One of those 2 people is one of the same people from back in May, Juanita Brent,
Juanita Brent.
okay? But there's another person, Allison. So this person is the leader of the Ohio House
Allison
Democratic,
Russo.
exactly,
Okay.
right? So she drafted and wrote and released to the media they called it the dossier, the memorandum, this
Okay.
memo, okay, in which it was basically like a burn book on me, on one person, right?
Okay.
just me. And I mean, I'm telling you right now, full of lies, okay? It used to describe me no fewer than 5 times throughout this memo the word violent, except it did not include any specific allegation of anything that could be appropriately described as violent. And there's
Mhm.
a reason for that, Kimberly, because I was never violent, right? So that was a
Okay.
lie, right? There's actually another word for that, right? It's defamation, right?
Defamation.
And you know what? Defamation's another fancy word like perjury, okay?
Okay.
Those 2 words are fancy words, but what do they really mean? They mean lies. That's what they mean, okay?
Mr. Forhan,
Mhm.
you are an attorney as well. Graduate of Yale?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. And during the time that you guys were in court, or was it a mediation?
No, we were in court.
You guys were in court. I
That's
think
a whole separate thing,
that's a whole
which
separate thing.
which we should discuss
Okay. We'll discuss
because
that.
it's relevant for the reason why I'm here
Right.
today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there were 2 people. One of the pieces of tape that I listened to briefly, there was someone on tape talking about they wanted to shoot you.
Yep.
I don't understand how people who are part of the same group, same gang, same organization, same political party can show so much dismay for or to another brother and sister, regardless of race, creed, or color. And to verbally state that you want to shoot someone, let me do this. That alone appears to be incriminating.
I mean, I would have to agree with you about. I mean, and by the way, current events have taken a turn just yesterday,
Hmm.
of course, and I want to say, just so the world knows, I condemn the assassination. I mean, I disagree every which right way and sideways with former President Donald Trump. I mean,
Yeah,
I have no interest, nothing to do with that person, but violence is never the answer.
never
Never,
the answer.
right? And I agree with my President Biden, who said that exact, and he did it immediate, right? He said it's unacceptable. Okay. And no, take a note of that. In 2022, okay, so there was this crazy guy, who was going off and he was going to try to kill
Yeah,
Nancy Pelosi. You remember that?
Nancy
Nancy
Pelosi. Yeah,
Pelosi. He
he
broke into
did.
her home, and what did he do? He hit. I mean, can you imagine? Hit in the head with a hammer.
Hmm.
Nancy Pelosi's husband,
Husband,
Paul Pelosi. Horrible. I mean, horrifying.
correct.
And what did Trump? He joked about it publicly.
Hmm.
Can you can you imagine? You know, and so we have to keep Donald Trump out, because if he gets reelected, okay, or if he gets back in, political violence, because that's what we're talking about, okay, it will become, mark my words, it will become the norm. Okay. For example, you see the
Hmm.
immunity decision by U.S. Supreme Court.
Hmm.
What did you read the dissent? Ketanji Brown Jackson, Justice. She said it. She said, this decision means, president could kill somebody. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the world we're living in right now, because they already issued that. And not to mention, I mean, what was that decision about? It was about January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, which
Hmm.
Donald Trump I mean, he made that happen. I mean, this
Yeah.
we have to. So, and I'm here to remind everybody: Tuesday, November 5th, this year. I mean, we always say it, but it's the truth. It is the truth.
Hmm.
Most important election of our lifetimes. We have to beat Trump, and we have to reelect Sherrod Brown, and we gotta pass the Citizens Not Politicians, the Ohio State ballot initiative to end
Hmm.
gerrymandering. You know about that one too,
Yes.
right? We got the 700,000 signatures. They
Hmm.
they turned them in just a couple weeks back. It's gonna be on the ballot. Vote yes, right? I mean, reproductive freedom, okay, common sense gun control, because it's what we're talking about, guns. All this it's on the line. We
Hmm.
have to. November 5th is what's coming up. Okay.
But forget about November 5th right
Hmm.
now. There was a threat
Yeah.
that was made against you,
Right. That's
just
true.
like there was a threat that was made against former president
Right.
of this here United States of America, Donald Trump, just like there are threats against any other person.
Hmm.
That's why we're here today. Because here's the thing that gets me. We can always talk about something that occurs on the federal level. But this happened right here in Cuyahoga County. So I want to know from you what's next. You mentioned two people. You mentioned State Rep Juanita Brent. What exactly did she do? You mentioned, what's her name? Mallory McMaster.
That's correct.
I've heard the tape.
Hmm.
I've heard the
Hmm.
threat. So listen, this is not hearsay, you guys. Not at all. So if you're just now tuning in, I am having a one-on-one conversation with State Rep Elliot Forhan. And this is a very serious issue inside the Little Hut podcast. You were not successful with maintaining the seat. There appeared to be a smear campaign. And I'm going to tell you this, you're not the first person to have gone through something like this, and you definitely will not be the last person.
Unfortunately.
What I know is this, from my understanding, I have seen 4 women who have given comments to the media. That's former state Rep Shirley Smith, cosmetologist LaDosha Wright, State Rep Juanita Brent, and I saw Mallory McMaster's comments in the transcript. Do you think, do you think that these 4 women set you up for a smear campaign, Brown on Cleveland? I'm asking.
Not all of them, no, but I do believe that Ms. McMaster and State Representative Cuyahoga County Democratic Party Executive Vice Chair Juanita Brent did plan to, as you said, set me up. Yes, I do believe that.
How do you evade the other 2, ignore the other 2 when it was LaDosha Wright who came out in the media and Shirley Smith came out behind her with a comment to Cleveland.com? And part 2, I will pull this up because this is not hearsay. This is what has been done. Brown on Cleveland.
It's a fair question. And look, I you know, the God's truth, I don't know the answer, but all I
Okay.
do know is LaDosha, she endorsed my campaign, and
Yes,
I
she
don't
did.
I don't think that somebody would do that if
Mhm.
she had it out, to get me, right?
Okay.
Former state senator Shirley Smith, whom I do respect, I know she did, make some comments that I was um, not so happy about. But she and we've worked together
Mhm.
actually, and she was helping out with the work that LaDosha and I were
Well,
doing
to
on the
make it
hair
very
bill.
clear, I am not a fan of state senator, whatever the hell she is, Shirley Smith.
I think
Kimberly
you mentioned.
Brown.
I think I heard
Kimberly
you say that
Brown
before.
is not a fan of any woman, any black woman who calls another black woman a black ASSBITCH point blank period. You no longer have respect from a Kimberly F. Brown. I don't care who you are.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay? Point blank, period. Don't like that. Never like that type of attitude from anybody. Because when you're like that, you don't have a right to talk about somebody else's behavior when your behavior has displayed worse than what the person you are accusing of having that behavior. So that's just where Kimberly Brown stands. But this issue is not about her, it's about what happened during the court proceedings. What is next for State Rep Elliot Forhan? Are you going to make this wrong into a right? Brown on Cleveland. I am asking.
100%. That is my goal. That is absolutely that is what I am spending every waking moment of my day,
Mhm.
every day, because at this point, Kimberly, I mean, look, we like to talk politics. I like to do politics.
Yes.
That's it's good. It's fun. It's important. It affects people's lives in a big way. Absolutely.
Mhm.
But this situation, for me, I'm also just a person, just like you and any of your viewers. I'm just a guy, and as a result of a person's reputation can have a big consequence on your life. And
State
I'm
Rep. State
not
Rep.
just
State
talking.
Rep. State, look, listen. I'm gonna say this to you
Please.
because apparently you don't get something, and I don't understand it. You ran for re-election.
Hmm.
To me, it appeared to be a smear campaign.
Hmm.
You lost the seat
Hmm.
because of what appeared to be a smear campaign.
Hmm.
What people were saying about you turned off a lot of people,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And had those things, I believe, not been in place, you and I wouldn't be here talking about
Right.
this situation because it would not have happened.
Hmm.
Point blank, period. Do you think that you were not successful maintaining the seat because of what happened?
Absolutely. I won in 2022. Okay, there were two opponents I ran against. I got way over 50%.
Hmm.
Okay, 2 years later, right? I lose. I went from 57 or 58 or whatever it was I got in 2022. I dropped more than 40 points. That is, oh, but again, Kimberly, I
Yes.
went back. And because at the time, I could not. I couldn't keep up with all the articles. I couldn't keep that
Okay.
were about me.
That's fair.
I went back, I counted. Kimberly,
How many?
you want 75. All right. I mean, nobody even knows about state rep except people knew about me for all the wrong reasons,
Absolutely.
which were, again, look, if somebody's criticized me for something I did, for
Mhm.
something that's real, that's fair.
Fair.
But what was this? This was about, again, it wasn't based on the truth. And that's, it's not right.
It's not right.
And again, and what I was trying to say before, I mean, I lost paid work over because I got a law practice. Kimberly, I lost people who I consider to be close
So you
friends.
lost clients.
Well,
You lost
clients,
clients.
I lost. I mean, people who I consider to be close friends,
Mhm.
who basically, because they saw this, they thought, that I don't know, and I haven't heard from them in months. So this is about, it's about, it's about my life
State rep.
beyond politics.
State
Even.
rep. You were painted. Let me say this first. Everybody talks about people. I get talked about. You get talked about.
Mhm.
Everybody gets talked about.
Sure.
But you got talked about to such a degree that people just did not want to hear your name.
Sure.
They didn't want to be bothered with you, and it didn't get better. Of course, it got worse.
Hmm.
When we first started talking tonight, this is the reason why I wanted to know what happened
Hmm.
with that conversation that caused that person, Miss Wright,
Hmm.
to go to the PD.
Hmm.
Something had to occur. But even after that, what was it that kept this damn monster rolling?
Right. So I want to just bring your attention to who was in the room, who was there. Okay, when LaDosha and I met, who was it? State Representative and Cuyahoga County Democratic Party Executive Vice Chair
Okay.
Juanita Brent. Because
Juanita Brent.
and again, this is the reason, Kim. This is the reason.
Okay.
Because she is under investigation right now.
She's under investigation.
By the Cleveland Division Police. Okay,
So I want to be clear.
Please.
You just stated that State Rep Juanita Brent is under investigation by the Cleveland Police.
That's correct.
For what?
Perjury.
For perjury.
Perjury is, by the way,
Mhm.
it is a crime. It is not a misdemeanor. That means it's what? It's a felony.
It's a felony.
Third degree. You know what a third degree felony means?
No, you're the attorney. You tell me.
Punishable by the imposition of a prison term of between 9 months and 3 years. That's for one count.
That's for one count.
You know how high I can count when it comes to Juanita Brent and perjury? 50.
Hmm.
How about that?
Ooh. I am sitting here talking with State Rep Elliot Forhan, and I'm always fair. My viewership, my readers, my followers on Brown on Cleveland, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel, The Little Hut podcast. We have a lot of viewers, and I'm so fair that if Juanita Brent or Mallory McMaster or LaDosha Wright, not Senator Smith, of course, if they would like to come inside the Little Hut to address anything, they're more than welcome. Again, I am talking with State Rep Elliot Forhan. The question is, was this a smear campaign against him? Were people making up false narratives, allegations, and and just plain stupid comments that caused the media to go in a frenzy to attack him? What was the real issues behind this smear attack as it appears? You're saying that there were 75 articles.
Mm-hmm.
I have several of those articles.
Mm-hmm.
I also have several of the recordings from court
Mm-hmm.
that we will play in part 2. State Rep Forhan, What's next besides the investigation on State Rep Juanita Brent? Now, there's a tape saying that, hey, I wanted to shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
What happens with that? That appears to be a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, according to the Ohio Revised Code, I can't tell you what section, but they don't take threats too lightly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a felony.
It could be. I'm not certain, but it's definitely possible. I will say that I did file. So I have now filed
Listen,
more that go
listen,
ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
going to stop you for a second. If someone comes in my person
Mm-hmm.
and they tell me they're going to shoot me,
Mm-hmm.
I am pressing charges. I'm going to be honest with you. See, because first of all,
that's what I'm doing.
because listen, first of all, I'm not going to play with no dumb-dumbs.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the world is today, you can't take this stuff lightly.
No.
I don't care if you're trying to joke with me. You're not certain things you're just not going to say to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can't deal with that lady anymore, right? Certain things you just cannot say. Certain things you should never say out your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That right there was egregious.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you take that to be serious, but
I do.
Me as a podcaster, although it was not directed towards me, I'm taking it serious.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to go a little further. Now, you know, I am not a Dem. I am not a Republican. I am an independent. But it's concerning to me
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about people like Donald Trump
Mm-hmm.
and several people of the Republican Party with these kind of behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, you're telling me about individuals who are part of the Democrat Party, and there's a tape talking about you want to shoot somebody. You tell me what's the difference between this person and Donald Trump? Brown on Cleveland, I fall back. And damn it, I asked, and I'm saying it.
You know, I think it is we got to keep our own house clean. You know, it's a simple truth here. I mean, I think that there are some very problematic as you are pointing out, points of comparison between, you know, what certain, and believe me, I am a Democrat blue to the core, but certain people in, for example, position of leadership. I mean, it was a month ago. Okay, get this, right? Because I was going to show you this as well.
State Rep, do you know the difference between a gang and a political party?
I do not believe that the Democratic Party.
I didn't ask that.
Right.
I asked you if you knew the difference between a gang and a political party.
I think so.
I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Brown on Cleveland, I said it. See, here's the thing about a gang. A gang will stick together. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. They will ride or die. They ain't gonna snitch. They go to jail for one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when one stone is thrown, all people power up to attack. Y'all political party, let me tell you something. I ain't never seen no type of mess like this before. Yeah. Where everybody's throwing everybody under the damn bus.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can talk about it from the local level, the county level, the state level, and the federal level.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give you this, just like how they talking about replacing Joe Biden, and you got Kamala Harris entertaining that. No. A gang is not going to entertain you changing their leaders. Mm-hmm. There's nowhere in the world y'all should be talking about getting rid of Biden and putting Kamala at the top of the ticket until Biden say, I don't want to be president anymore.
Right. No, I
right. So a gang got more loyalty than y'all damn political party. So if I had to choose, I'd rather be part of a gang.
That's your choice. Then, you know, I respect your choice. But
I don't have to worry about getting backstabbed. I don't have to worry about going down the street and getting beat up by a whole lot of people. And I look to my back and nobody got me. A gang's gonna be there with me. Either we get beat up together or we win together. These damn political parties, they'll let y'all get stumped by yourself. And yes, I said it. Brown on Cleveland, I said it. Not you.
I think your point here is I think it's actually really I think it's a really important point, and I'll tell you why I disagree.
This lady said she don't mind shooting you.
Right.
You guys are Dems.
Right. So
this one here said you roll by her house. You drive an F-150? You got a truck?
No, I do not. That was a lie. That's
So you mean to
No.
tell me you didn't rent a truck and you didn't ride by her house?
no, I never.
Was there
no.
a camera?
It's-
Was that evidence ever submitted?
No.
Brown on Cleveland. I rest my case. I'd rather be in a damn game.
So here's the difference, in my opinion, because your point, you want to know the truth. A lot of people, I think, see what you see, and they agree with you. They agree, right? And here's why I think. Here's why I don't. Here's why I don't agree. Because what we should be, is respect the rule of
You
law.
said should be.
Should be. I mean,
Sir.
I believe that we, in general, I believe the Democratic Party respects
Should be and
what
is.
what is the rule of law, right? What is it? Can I?
There's something called a social contract.
Well, that's true.
We're supposed to take care of each other.
Can I give you my
We're supposed to support the law of the land.
Can I give you my definition?
And you guys don't do that.
Okay.
Stop taking up for them.
Do we have one set of laws that applies to every, or do we have different sets that apply to different people?
Different sets. There's no equality. There's no equity. There's no fairness.
I believe the Democratic Party is committed to the value that there is. Now, do we make mistakes? Now, make a contrast. Republican Party, they don't even pretend. They say it out. It's we got one set of laws that actually it's
Let me tell you something.
according to them, it's all the laws applied
Not
to.
true. Not true. Not true.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
You tell me how it is.
One of the top-notch activists in this region. Her name is Donna Walker Brown.
Okay.
She's a Republican.
Okay.
And Donna Walker Brown has turned more wrongs into rights more than any Dem existing in this here United States of America.
Fair enough.
Point blank, period. So
Okay.
you can't say all Republicans. We got to say this. People will guide themselves the way they want to guide themselves. They're going to do whatever they want to do, how they want to do it, why they want to do it, when they want to do it.
Mhm.
I just watched the last election, the one
Mhm.
before that, where I saw people from Cuyahoga County Democrat Party
Mhm.
attack some of the Dems that I do campaign work for,
Mhm.
right? And they didn't endorse them, but we still won.
Mhm.
So you can't tell me about no loyalty. People do what the hell they want to do. That lady made a threat to you.
Right.
She's part of your organization, or
Right.
shall I say, you guys are part of the same organization.
Right.
The other lady, you said she perjured herself.
Mhm. Mhm.
The point I'm trying to make is this: either you're a team or you're not. Either you're committed, right?
Yep.
To the plan, to the effort, to the
Mhm.
longevity, or you're not.
Right.
Either you in it for the entire community or you in it for yourself.
Right.
And what I see is a lot of self-serving individuals.
Mhm.
I don't care if they Dems, I don't care if they're Republicans.
Mhm.
If you're self-serving,
Mhm.
you shouldn't be part of either group.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, you know what, Elliot, it's supposed to be about the people, not even about you.
I couldn't agree more,
That's
Kimberly.
all I'm saying.
Now, the way, okay, can
You
I
were
just?
threatened. I don't like that.
I mean, I could not appreciate you more for because it's been well, and I showed. So you said something. I have to make it just a small correction. Something you said a few minutes ago. You
Okay.
said it happened in Cuyahoga. It happened in Geauga. Okay, so
Oh,
I went.
okay.
It happened in Chardon because
Okay.
this person, Ms. McMaster, she lives Chardon. Okay, so
Point
I
taken.
went. All right, so this was during the deposition that I took deposition. This was in connection with the case that Representative Brent sued me. Okay.
Okay.
Now, after that happened, right? It was, I don't know, next day or within the next week or whatever. I got my car, drove back to Chardon, and I went to the Chardon Police Department.
Okay.
I made a police report. I said, this happened here. She said, and I gave them the tape. They have it. They have yet to follow up. I hope they look. I'm going to cooperate. I mean, if they come and ask me, what do you want? I say, I want an indictment. I want a conviction. Yes. I mean, she
Okay.
did that. It's wrong. It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah. So, but your bigger. I really do. I appreciate your big picture point because you're getting at something I think incredibly important.
Mhm.
Okay, we have these organizations, these
Yes.
political parties, right? What is the purpose? I have an idea.
Okay.
My idea. It's about our values.
Okay.
That's it. It's all.
Mhm.
We have Democratic Party members. We have a set of values we share. Okay, freedom, equality, right? The rule of law. For
Mhm.
example, okay, people get twisted. It happens in every because guess what? Every organization says they got a mission statement, right? Now,
True.
over time, there's this I heard this one time. over once you got because you got a bunch. How do organizations start? You got a bunch of people who say we have a mission. What do we need? We need an organization. Okay, so the purpose of the organization is to serve the mission. Now, over time, what
Okay.
happens? What happens? It flips, and people are there for the organization, not for the mission. You see that?
Got it.
So we
Receive.
need to get our priorities. We need to get our priorities straight. It's
Yes.
not about it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not
Okay.
about the Democratic Party. It's not. It's about our values.
Okay.
That's what we lose sight of. That's what I believe.
Touche.
So
Touche. Okay, well, Mr. Forham, it was great talking to you. We're wrapping up this
always good
hour.
talking to you, Kimberly.
Absolutely. So I want to do a part 2.
Please.
I really want to get into the nitty gritty of everything that you talked about, and I really want the receipts. And you
I
sent,
got them.
I know, you sent me the receipts, but I want to have the opportunity to go through them, load them up on the podcast. So as we're talking about these issues, we can flip to them and people can hear for themselves. But you did send me something.
Mhm.
And although it's not loaded, I am going to load this baby up. So I want people just to give me one quick second, and let's do this because you guys, this is oh, this is so egregious. I am I really don't know what to say. Anytime Kimberly Brown is is muted, there's a problem. Let me see if I can get this to play because I want you guys to hear this. I think it was the first one, right?
Should be the first one, yeah.
All right, you guys, check this out. Check this out. Let me see if I can get this baby to play. Ah, Brown on Cleveland. Brown on Cleveland. Let's see. Let's see. You're not gonna work for me. Let's see if I can just play. Brown on Cleveland. Hold on. Let's see. You're not gonna play for me.
That Elliot would come after me for that. Just stop. I don't know why.
Oh man. Let's see. I want you guys to hear this.
Check the game. I wish that Elliot would come after me for that. What do you mean by that?
Did you guys?
Check the game. I wish that Elliot would come after me for that. What do you mean by that?
Terrible. She said she wanted an excuse to shoot you, meaning that she wanted an excuse to shoot him. Listen, my time is up. Special edition, Brown on Cleveland, Little Hut podcast, Sunday evening. We went from 7 and it's going on 7:52. I want to wrap this thing up by 8 o'clock. So I am going to excuse myself and leave the final comments to State Rep Elliot Forhan. But I will tell you this: we will have a part 2 coming up. My job is to load everything up, so therefore I won't have to do what I just did. I want it to be very clear and to the point. Because one thing we do not do inside the Little Hut podcast, we do not make allegations or accusations against anyone. We always have receipts. Point blank, period. State Rep Forham, wrap this thing up so we can get out of here. Thank
First
you.
of all, again, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to part 2. So we'll have to discuss. We can make that happen, whenever it's convenient for yourself. But what I want to say is I am continuing every day to represent my constituents in the House District 21 in the Ohio House of Representatives. For example, right now, so we're I know November 5th is coming. Now, something that I'm doing right now, okay, and it's actually before then because Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose. Okay, so I was just down in Columbus yesterday. I heard Desiree Timms, who's fantastic, talking about, she called him the purger in chief. She's talking about voter purging, right? Because that's Frank LaRose's favorite thing to do. He's in 8 days from today, because he announced about a little more than a month ago, he's going to do another 15,000 people in Cuyahoga County, more than 150,000 across the state of Ohio, canceling voter registrations. What does that mean? It means you show up to vote on election day and you can't vote. That is the consequence of the purge. Okay, I am fighting tooth and nail right now. I'm working with at the national level the gold standard voter protection people. This is the Brennan Center at NYU Law School. We are on the verge, I believe, of at minimum getting him to scale it back in a big way, or ideally he would cancel it entirely. But we're running out of time. We're working every single day. He has stopped answering I'm asking him questions because he's not even telling us what is the basis, right? So I'm continuing to fight every day for my constituents. That's what I want to leave you with.
Thank you so much. Here again, we were talking to State Rep Elliot Forhan. And listen, I'm going to say this. I don't believe there is a Pinocchio up in this house today. I have the receipts. I am going to go through these receipts. And right now, hey, listen, Brown on Cleveland, I am not happy at all. But at any rate, you guys know my time is up. It's heading towards 8 o'clock. And Kimberly Brown got a real job. Show enough do, show enough do. And I got to show up on time. I really do. But as I always say, listen, I know y'all don't like me. And you probably don't like him. But the difference is this. I don't like you either, but he still loves him. Me, I really don't care. But listen, if you need me, call me. Don't talk about me. Talk about him. Because, I talk about your back. Sure enough will. I go on attack. And I can be very brutal.
Believe it.
I kid you not. So, you don't have to be a star. You don't have to be a star. You ain't got to be a star to be inside the Little Hut Podcast, y'all. He got skills. Oh, man.
Thank you, Kimberly.
You're so welcome. You know what? I kind of like you.
Oh, well, the feeling's mutual, Kimberly.